Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to the Nine Men Morse Project. I'm Mr. Smith. I'll be your host today. Hi, how are you? I'm not doing very good. I'm not real happy with my internet right now. So we're just going to go ahead and do the recording. I'll send it to you, and then we'll talk about how we can get my internet working over the holidays and be back to normal on the 7th of, well, not the 7th. I don't know if it's the 7th. It'll be in January. First week of January, second week of January. That's when we'll start again. Okay, it's week 6. Let's get started. Oh, I don't want that. Try that again. There we go. That's better. Hey, it's our video warm-up. What if animals were round? These are my favorite, you guys. That's why I posted 3 of them for you. Here we go. That's what would happen if animals were round. Let's move on to the next one. I'll even get out of the way. Hey, what if meerkats were round? Cracks me up every time I see that one. One of my favorites. And our last one today is what if vultures were round? Let's check this one out. Hey Josh, I just sent you an email. Check that out. Alright, what if vultures were round? That one's just one of my all-time favorites. Love that stuff. And now it's time for Weird But True. That is correct. You know, dolphins communicate in several ways. Clicks, squeaks, whistles, slapping their tails on the surface of the water, and even butting their heads against other dolphins is a way that they communicate. Check out some of these sounds. I'm kind of used to the whistles. It's usually what I hear, but I've never really heard this. It sounds a lot like a bird. There it is. I'm used to that one. Grew up with that one as a kid. All right. Hey, this is doodling in math class. This is not what we're doing this week, but this is Wyatt's star doodle from math class last week. I thought it was really good, so I had him send it to me, and I posted it. There you go. Nice job, Wyatt. Okay, so today's activity, we're moving on to the Sam Lloyd puzzle. This is one of my favorite, and this one will take us 3 weeks to do. So this is just part 1, and it's more of an explanation. So if you do have a piece of paper and a pencil with you, this will be kind of helpful because you can go along with us on this. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite things to teach. As a matter of fact, Emmett might know the answer to this. So Emmett, don't give it away yet, okay? All right, here we go. Ho, ho, ho. There once was a man who owned a winery. Let's call him Joe. Joe was not a very smart man, but smart enough to own his own wine bottle company. His business was open day and night, making wine in his signature green wine bottles. Joe worked during the day. Joe had a night manager, let's call him Steve, who worked at night. Joe thought Steve was stealing wine bottles. Every morning when Joe came to work, he would find some green wine bottles were missing. Since Steve was in charge, he suspected it was Steve. Joe decided to set a trap for Steve and catch him red-handed. Then he would fire Steve. Joe set his wine bottles up in a certain way that night so that 28 bottles were on a table, and so that on each side of the table there were 9 bottles. The trap was set. When Steve came in that evening, Joe would have his man. Well, there you go. That's the story of the 9 green bottles. So what we're going to do now is move on to what happened when Joe set the trap for Steve. So here's where you need a piece of paper. Check this out. Here we go. Okay, boys and girls, now you should have a piece of paper in front of you that looks very much like the rectangle I have in front of me, and you should have a pencil or a marker. Now, I want you to draw what I draw. You see, Joe set the trap that night before Steve came in, and this is how he set it. So you can draw it exactly how you see me drawing it. In the middle of each side of the table, he put 5 green water bottles. Just like this. Now, like I said, Joe was not a very smart man, but he was smart enough to own his own company. So that's smart enough. But you see, Steve was smarter. Steve was not the guy stealing the water bottles at all. But when Steve came in that night, he looked at the table, and he knew that a trap had been set for him. So he decided to play along. Alright, now that you've drawn 5 on each side of the table, Joe put 2 bottles of wine in each corner. Just like this. Let's go ahead and draw that. Okay, so if we count this, you will see that we have 9 bottles on each side of the table. 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 9. Okay, this is what Steve walked into. Alright, so that's the first part of the story, and I'm not going to go any further until the next time we meet. And by the way, the next time we meet will be somewhere in January. I think it's time we just take a break. I didn't hear from, I think I heard from 1 or 2 of you regarding your second deck, and I didn't hear from a couple of you, which is okay because this is a busy week, and I think it's just been a little crazy and hectic for everybody. So let's move on, and we'll talk more about that at the end. That's the 9 green water bottles story, and we'll get to that next week. It's really good. I like it. So you want to be a Roman soldier, do you? Okay, so in this edition of Roman, you want to be a Roman soldier, it's off to Britannia. That's right. You've had your first war. Congratulations. You won. But now it's time to go to your next assignment, which is in modern-day England, or Great Britain. You'll be cruising aboard this lovely ship, and of course you'll be rowing. Don't think for a second that it's a vacation. It is not. This is Britannia. Let's give you a little idea of where that is. You are here in Rome, and Britannia is here. Again, modern-day Great Britain. To give you an idea of how you're going to travel here, I got a little video made for you. Join the army, see the world. Roman army, that is. So we're going to zoom into Rome. I've got a pin there for you. So your army makes its way north, up to the top of the boot. Right there are the Alps. Lots of mountains. You see the snow? modern-day Switzerland. We're going to make our way over to Germania, and that's where you had your battle last week, in Germania. You were very successful, so your army marches now to the northwest, where you will stop and rest for a little while at the coast of Gaul, which is modern-day France. And you have to row all the way across, and sail, by the way, sail. To here, it's the opening of the Thames River, which will bring you to what would be modern-day London, where you get your next assignment. And it's a big assignment, I tell you. So, Hadrian is your Caesar. He's your boss, your king, your emperor. No, not this guy. I've got the wrong emperor there. More like this guy. There you go. Better looking, but just as mean. All right, traveling to Britannia across the sea is hard, and it can only be done in the summertime. And here's a little video of what this would look like, probably in the summertime. This is a modern-day passage, of course, but I mean, look how up and down that is. And you would be on this sea for quite a while. More than likely, you would look like this. Yeah. Not very pleasant. And again, you have to row. So, congratulations, though. Once you get there to Britannia, this is your new home. Enjoy. It's a fort. It's not bad. At least it's warm. You got some food. But try to catch some of the local fish. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck eating these things. Bread, lard, and vinegar. Yuck. Next week, we're going to talk about life in the fort. And now it's time for 9 Men Morris, everybody. Session 6 is plans and deck number 3. Again, I know it's been a busy week, but we're going to take some time off. So this is what I need you to do. From now until January, whenever it is, the Thursday in January, maybe the 7th or the 8th, I want you to make your second deck and your third decks. Show them to me, please. All you got to do is take a picture of them and email them to me with a little explanation of how they work, or videotape it. I'll be happy to look at the videotape. It's a little bit easier. I know Wyatt did that on the first deck. Keep doing that, Wyatt. That works pretty good. And then finally, you can always meet with me online like Josh did, and that was awfully cool. So, decks 2 and 3, get them to me. I know I got Presley's in the mail, and I'm going to check that out shortly. All right, it's been a crazy week, everybody. Crazy week. But let's go on with some of the things I've got here. I want to show you Dalen's Panda World A. This is one of my students' projects. It's pretty cool. I sent it out not too long ago. You might have seen it already.
And this is my 9 Men Morris game, Panda World A. You take...
If you're wondering how she made that panda, she made that using Model Magic Clay, which I'm going to show you shortly in a video.
The white and black buttons, and you put them in the 2 closest spots to the elevator. You take turns moving your buttons, and if you get a mill, you could switch spots with the other character or move wherever you want. When you see a black dot close to one of the big dots, it means you get a colored tile. It has a brownie face on it. You put it back in the box, and you go back to start. And if you get the...
By the way, I've got thousands of these tiles. If you guys want some, it's a matter of me throwing them in an envelope. So just ask me. I can send you some. Anything you see here that I haven't sent you yet, that you want me to send you, I can toss it in a box, send it to you. I know that, Presley, you were asking me about tubes for your elevator. If you need more, let me know. I can send you some.
The panda that has a smiley face on it, you go up to the next step. Whoever got the good tile goes first. You take the...
Keep that in mind. Her elevator she just went up was a side elevator. We'll talk about that today.
The dice that's white and black. And however many spots that is, it's 4, and I landed on a panda cardboard, and you roll it, and there's numbers like 18, 10, 22, 14. They're bigger numbers, and that's how many spaces you move. You get all the way around the board, including the next start. You get to go up the slingshot.
Oh, this is my favorite invention that she made. It's called the slingshot. We kind of had to work together on this to get it to work just right, but we did. It was really cool. Check it out.
It hits the panda's stomach,
So you drop
and then
the
falls
button in there
on
and then
the
you sling it up.
place close to the school. And then you do the other button, and it does it again. You spin the arrow. Go to the baseball game, or the party, or the halfway point, or the school, or the house.
We're going to talk about spinners very shortly too. Show you how to make those.
The first person to get to land on the trampoline
I never thought about discussing the trampolines,
Bye, everybody.
but trampolines are pretty easy. It's just a cup, and you take a balloon, and you cut the end off the balloon. You just wrap the balloon around the cup and tape it really good. It's tight, and then the tape won't let the balloon slip, and then you get yourself a trampoline. Another invention from one of my students. Don't think for a minute that I came up with that stuff. All right, that's from Dalen. Okay, so again, your goal is to make your plans for your third level. Record the video, email it to me for approval, live on Google. Use the plans to create your third deck on the second piece of plexiglass that I've given you. And connect those decks together, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. 9Men Morse, plan to deck. Plans to deck. All right, here's a video on connecting your decks.
Part 1,
everybody, part 1. Oh wait, not part 1. That's elevators. What am I thinking?
Okay, connecting your decks is really simple. First, you got a deck. If you look in your packet, these are called plumbing tailpiece washers. They're used in plumbing, perfect for connecting your decks. Open those up. The plastic piece fits perfectly around the support tube. And these tubes are used both for elevators and for supporting the decks. There's two sides to
Answers your
this
question,
piece.
Presley.
Flat side that sticks out of the flat side is we're going to put hot glue all the way around here. So parents, this is your job. Connect that right in the center of your foam board. Take one end of your tube, put some glue around the end of the tube, and insert it. Very, very strong. Should dry within 30 seconds. Now it's time to connect the top deck. The top deck here, even though it doesn't have any tape on it, and it's crystal clear, put some glue at the very top of this pipe. Now I'm going to insert the flange. Here's the tricky part. You want to make sure that that's nice and straight when you insert that. We'll add some hot glue to the top.
Of course, you can do this the other way too. You could glue the flange to the plastic and then glue it to the tube. Either way, it would work fine.
Second deck. Place it on. You want to push down and hold it for about 30 seconds. So once you release, it tends to pop up a little bit and out of the glue, and it won't be level. Voila! Strong 2 decks. Carrying these decks, you don't want to pick them up from the edge or from the edge down here at the bottom. The pole and the connections here are the weakest parts, and when there's a lot of weight on them, they tend to go first. So what I like to do is I just simply grab at the pole and carry my 9Men Morse board around. Works perfectly. And that's how we connect the decks.
Very sturdy that way too. So I know we went over connections last week, but that's it's more comprehensive look at how to connect decks. Okay, and now finally, you guys have been interested in elevators. So I'm going to show you a video here. Whoa, there's no video. Let me go back. Hold on a second. Give me a second. I know you're all here with me. I just have to play this again in a new window. You know what? We're here. We'll just present it right here. Okay, here we go. This is the hardest of the two decks. This is creating an elevator in the center. I always use the same song. That's driving you crazy by now. Part 1.
The tubes that are in your packet are also used to make elevators. Elevators are very simple, or elevators are very difficult. I'm going to start with the difficult part, mostly because you need these tools. So parents, I hope you're watching along. This is called a Dremel. You don't necessarily need a Dremel to do this, but it is a lot more successful. With the Dremel, you need two of the tools that go with it. Just a small drill bit, I don't know, kind of cone-shaped sanding tools. You'll also need one of these, a nice powerful drill, and one of these. You can get these at any Lowe's or Home Depot or hardware store. This is about a 1.5 inch, I believe. I don't even know what they call this thing, but you can see it here. It's got a drill bit inside, and you can see that it drills a hole on the outside. Okay, the first thing to do is to add your tiny drill bit. And we're going to cut a hole in the center of one of the plastic sheets. Is that we're trying to keep your plastic from cracking. It's very lightweight plastic, cracks easily. A little bit of a larger hole now. This next step can be done in two different ways. I'm doing it between two tables, or you can do it on a nice big piece of wood. This drill bit is going to go through this piece of plastic, so it's going to push through. You either want a piece of wood underneath there, or you don't want anything at all, but don't do it on top of a table. And there you go, a nice clean round hole. No cracks in the plastic. If there's tiny cracks, you can use some tape to cover them, but if you make a big crack, you just probably want to start all over again. And parents, you can find these again at Lowe's or Home Depot in the plexiglass area. They're not that expensive, and they usually have a lot of them. Even if it's a side elevator or a center elevator, you're going to start by making an opening at the bottom of the tube. A simple pair of scissors will work. There you go. It's not like pretty or anything. It is kind of sharp. Is to use some of your colored tape. There you go. There's a nice safe opening, and it's not that unattractive. Be able to put your finger in there to get your button up and down.
Okay. And so goes that. And now we're back. Hey, where did my things go? Alright, here. Hold on, everybody. I am coming. So, that is Elevators Part 1. In Elevators Part 2, I'm going to show you how to get the buttons or your game pieces to move up and down the elevators, and how to make an elevator on the outside of your game, which is a lot easier for you. This video is more for your parents. I don't want you guys running out and getting drill bits and the big drills and anything like that, obviously. So, more to come on the elevators, and I'll be putting those videos out here shortly, so you won't have to wait 3 weeks to get those. Alright? Okay, 2 kinds of elevators. We just talked about one of them. Good luck making your third deck, everybody. That's 9 Men Morris for the week. Make sure you email me anytime with any help over the next 3 weeks. I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a Happy Holidays to you. Next week, we're going to be making your game functional. Not next week, I'm sorry, when we meet next time. I'm going to put everything together. The 3 decks, I'm going to show you how to add spinners. I'm going to show you how to make dice or where to buy dice. Adding cards. All the little things that make the 9 Men Morris game what it is. And I've got one more student who's finishing her 9 Men Morris game, and it is complex beyond belief. That's coming next time. So I'll see you guys next time, probably in the middle of January. Have a good holiday break, everybody. And